G'day guys, welcome back to Supercoach Swordplay. Hope that you're all well. Today we're going to go through a rapid fire review of the Preki game played between the Tigers and Collingwood last night. Remember, if you are after the most detailed and comprehensive Preki game notes this preseason, be sure to get your hands on our Supercoach Swordplay season guide. This is a live document, so it gets continually updated after each game. I don't know if all the notes will be there yet, but definitely keep your eye on that section because they will be updated very, very soon. So again, thank you very much to anyone that has already got a copy of the season guide. The feedback so far has been absolutely amazing. But let's get to the game last night. Now, how much do we take out of this? It's really, really hard to tell. First of all, it's a preseason match. And second of all, it involved the Richmond Tigers. Now, no offense to any of the Tigers fans, but I think even the most diehard supporters will agree that they're not going to provide a heap of competition this year. So we know that someone like Daicos got completely off the chain, but keep in mind his fixture to start the season isn't as easy as playing the Tigers every week. So we certainly need to keep that in mind. The final scores 6-13, 49 to 21-6, 132. It seemed at one point that Collingwood were not going to kick it behind. I think it was 20 straight and one rushed, but in the end kicked a few. It was really frustrating because I know for lots of us, one thing we really wanted to see was who's going to be taking these kick-ins. Is it going to be Jayden Short? Is it going to be somebody else? And we didn't get a lot of that data. But we'll start off with some players now. And the big Nank up the top. The Skodfather's going to be spewing on this one because he's been keen on the Nank for a very long time. And after last night's performance, I think that his ownership will certainly start to rise. It's been a really tough line to get our heads around this year in the rucks. So much risk there. We've got your Gorns, your Sherrys, but we have to pay so much. Nank we're still paying up for. But one thing I loved about what Nank did last night is he actually played like a midfielder plus more. We saw him actually go behind the ball, take some contested intercepts, hit the scoreboard, set up a couple as well. He really did everything that you wanted him to see. So everything that you wanted him to do. Now, the difference between someone like Nank and a TDK, for example, is that you know that he's going to be the number one man for the whole season as long as he stays fit. Richmond are going to be struggling. He's a captain of the club. He really needs to step up, put his body on the line and support some of his younger midfielders around him. So I'm a fan of the selection. He's a pod pick at the moment, but definitely one to keep on your watch list. I was really impressed with him. 22 touches, 28 hit-outs, and almost kicked a goal as well. Managed to hit the scoreboard just behind, though. Jayden Short, well, here's the next bloke we need to talk about. I know that my advice on Jayden Short has been I'm just not that keen because we've seen what he's done in the past and it's been around that 96, 98 average, which is okay. But when we compare that to some of the other averages we're getting from our top line defenders, your Sheasels, your Flanders, even someone like a Jordan Clark who had a bit of a breakout season last year, he wasn't someone who I thought could compete with those type of players. But the role last night was that juicy. The price is juicy as well. I think this is going to be very, very hard to knock back. No one was on him. He was playing with so much freedom. It wasn't funny. I think in the first quarter alone, it was 8 touches and all of those were kicks. Now, he was kicking long a lot of the time, but what I noticed was not a heap of those were getting intercepts. They were going to a contest, and that is absolutely perfect for us. The meters gained were absolutely off the charts. I didn't see him too much towards the end of the game. Whether or not he was having more of a rest to give other players an opportunity, I'm not too sure. But he was on fire for the first half, had a decent third quarter as well, and pretty much locked himself into my team, particularly given the fact that we just can't select Callum Mills anymore. So Jayden Short, tick, tick, tick. I think you've just got to select him now. He's tricked us in the past and tricked me in the past with some massive preseason performances, but taking the role into consideration, the fact that he was just playing with so much freedom, I think he's too hard to knock back. Jack Ross is a really interesting one. So priced just above 300k. We talked about him with Swizz and Abs in the Richmond team preview. We weren't really, really high on him, but at the price, if you need to chop someone like a Day, a Cherry for some reason, if you're running with an Ashcroft or you're not too keen on a Peatling, I think he is an option, but he's a risky option. If you want to go away from the pack, though, and you're not confident on some of these 200k players, now, for example, if you had Smiley or even Layla in the side, They may not even get up for round one. Could you pay an extra 100K, keep the same buy structure, and select a Jack Ross? Possibly. I just probably wouldn't have the kahunas to go there myself. Hopper, I'm not really going to go through. Sonzi and McIntosh. Taranto, I don't think he's overly Supercoach relevant. Maybe good for fantasy, but just not for me, I don't think. Blight is a really interesting one. He's around the price that I'm keen for at the moment. I want someone between 200 to 300K. I want a reliable pick that can just get me by even for around 6 weeks. I'm not sure if he's a man or not. I was actually pretty impressed with his game. I think he had about 35, 38 points at halftime. What did he end on? Okay, so around the 70 mark. Do you know what? He may not be the worst option. Just to plug there, it's all about job security. Now, if you look at his time on ground, that was really high as well at 94%. I think in the first half, it was looking like 100% Tog. He did get a little bit of a rest just before half time, but job security's there. The role isn't absolutely fantastic, but he'll get an intercept mark here and there, a contested possession here and there. I'm not sure. If I really need someone at the price point, then it may be him, but I don't see a heap of value. It's more just a bit of a plug if you don't want to spend 400K plus. If you just want a bit of a stopgap, even for a month, then he may be the man, but he doesn't overly excite me, unfortunately. Mansell did some good things, but not really relevant. Banks, probably not for me. Look, got enough of the ball there, but didn't do too much to excite me. Trezise, no, not really. Tom Brown, Vlaston, Broad. We keep on going down. As you can see, no one is overly relevant here. Trainer actually impressed me when he came on, but it's the fact that he didn't actually start the game, came on later. I just don't know if he's going to start round one. And if he does, is it going to be a sub risk? It's a frustrating one. I'd almost rather him not start and be a decent downgrade option for us, I think. And the rest there will just go down. Rioli, Fawcett, Sims. So not a heap of relevance there, but you've got the Nank, you've got Short, and potentially Blight. We'll see what happens. On to the Pies. Now, Daicos, well, if you tuned into my opening team review when the picky first came out, I said Daicos an absolute lock for me. I'm starting with him. And to be honest, the only reason why I took him out of my side was when he had his foot issue. It seems like he is absolutely and completely over that now. The issue is that early fixture and some potential tags. Could you get him cheaper after the bye or even 6 weeks into the season when it's upgrade time? Potentially, but he's going to be a bloody scary unknown. I can tell you that because this man absolutely dominated in 3/4 of the game, 153 Supercoach points. And man, he was doing everything, setting up goals, getting the 1-2s, super, super dangerous, getting some free kicks as well. Oh man, if you want to start him, absolutely go for it. But I probably still can't quite do it at this stage. Lipinski, 14 marks. I don't think that he's going to be able to continue to do that. 37 touches. Well done, son, but still not for me. This man is an absolute lock. Harry Perryman. I think you've just got to start him. Now, he didn't get a heap of the ball in the first half, but one thing that he did do was tackle like an absolute madman. He had 5 in the first quarter alone, and there were 2 that I saw as well that he almost got that didn't quite stick. And one, I think the player just got a handball out to a teammate, so those don't actually count as tackles. So it could have been potentially 7 tackles just in the first quarter. And what I liked as the game went on is that possession count actually ticked up as well. So at the end of the day, he got 20 touches, even kicked a handball ratio, contested, where are we there? 10 as well. So half contested. So I don't mind that whatsoever. 122 points. This is brilliant. Him, along with Jayden Short, I think provide that security for us at a cheaper price. Now, I'm hoping that one of the 2 can be keepers. That would be ideal. If not, I'm sure that they'll just do their job, which is basically get an extra rookie off field in our defensive line, because I think the new meta now is going one rookie on field. I think that's what I'm looking to do at the moment, as much as I hate it, but I just don't have a lot of confidence in these defensive rookies. So the Shorts of the world, the Perrymans of the world, I think are absolute godsends for us. So a bit of a tricky buy, But if you're looking to replace the Callum Mills, then Perryman, I think, is a really obvious selection there, same by and all the rest. So shouldn't hurt your structures too much. Daicos and Dan Houston looked really, really good for me. Now, Daicos at the moment is a mid only. This is Josh. But going into the season, I think he's really got the potential to be a top 8 averaging defender for us. I think it's almost a lock that he's going to continue in this role. Would you be bold enough to select him in your midfield? Pretty much knowing, or you never know these things, there's no guarantees, but very, very likely that you'd be able to swap him into your defensive line. Could you start with Allan in your midfield as well? Or sorry, in your defensive line, and then do that switch early on? Potentially. With the early buys, could we just suck that up and play that extra rookie on field, knowing that for 3 weeks, most likely you don't have to worry about it because it's best 18? Maybe it's a bit of a strategy that you could look at, but it's an extremely risky one. And those midfield spots at the moment, I can't go past your Olivers, your Chera types at this stage, but could be a bit of a wacky play if you're looking to go there. Dan Houston looked really good, I think, for a 105, just blowing out some cobwebs. There was one point where I think possibly he got on the attack a little bit too much and left his defensive teammates a little bit vulnerable. I think there was a turnover and maybe a shot on goal or a missed goal. I'm not too sure, but I think that they'll really back Dan Houston in to be that attacking defender. They won't want him to be too defensive. And I think when he gets back, I think he's only out for the 1 week or suspended for the 1 week. I think he's going to put his hand up as a pretty realistic option for us down back. Membry, just not a Supercoach option, but really good to see him look like he's enjoying his footy after some mental health issues. Side bottom, spent a fair bit of time in the middle with Pendles as well, along with Daicos and Perryman. I think they were probably the main 4 from my eye, but too old, you're not going there. McStay played all right. How going down the list, there's not too many more options here. Reid McGuinness played down back. Probably an interesting one is Ed Allan. Now, I was super impressed with this bloke when he finally came on the field. His time on ground was only, 34%. But I'd love to see what his points per minute were. This bloke can find the football. The issue is that we're really paying up for him around the 200K mark, and we're just not sure in his job security. If he does play, will he get subbed? There's probably too many question marks around that best 22/23 position for Ed Allan. If we knew that he was locked into that 22, I would absolutely lock him into my side because, as I said, no problem finding the football. Super impressed with him, but just too many question marks around security at the moment. So they're probably the most relevant players I think we need to discuss. If I have missed anyone, certainly let me know. So I've got a nice little summary here on the third man up. This is now our official Supercoach Swordplay Twitter account. So make sure that you do give the third man up a follow if you haven't already. Roscoe, Janath do wonderful work on this. So thank you very much, boys. We can see here that we've got Jayden short, 105 Supercoach, 85% TOG, 25 disposals, 21 kicks, 4 handballs, 6 marks, a big tick there. The Nank, 68% TOG. So imagine when that gets to the 75 plus mark. 130 Supercoach points, 11 kicks, 11 handballs, 4 marks, 5 tackles, 28 hitouts. Absolutely fantastic, 74.2% CBAs. Blight, we've got the thumbs up there, but not an absolute lock by any stretch of the imagination, but 246,000, a decent price point, yet an awkward price point for people that are looking to go there. 67 Supercoach points, 94% TOG. This is what we really, really like here. 12 touches and 7 marks. Trezise, we're not too sure here as well. 62 Supercoach points. You can see the rest of the touches here. Banks, we're not sure about. Armstrong, thumbs down. And then Trainer, we've got to give the thumbs down at the moment purely due to that TOG. And we got Collingwood, Nick Daicos, a pig, a lock. I'm not saying a lock, but he's a lock to have to come into your side earlier rather than later. Once he gets past that dodgy fixture, past the bye, then he definitely needs to be a massive priority for us to get him into our sides. His brother as well, particularly when he gets defensive status, that'll be DPP status as well. Will he be close to a lock? Well, if he plays like he did last night, I think he'll get better and better with more experience in the role. Definitely someone that we do need to look at. Perryman, I think, is an absolute lock. It's got the fire symbol there, but I think that should be a padlock because if we look at his Supercoach points, 122 there, 81% TOG, Really, really nice contested to uncontested ratio, kick to handball split. Really like him there. And probably someone I should have touched on before as well is Darcy Cameron. So the 84 Supercoach points, 74% TOG. I just didn't like him near as much as the big Nank. Look, he's an option, but again, has the early buy. I'd rather just pay up for the Nank or even probably go with someone like a DDK, even though he's got more risk when it comes to roll. You know that Darcy Cameron's going to be the number one ruck there. And we've talked about Ed Allan. If we see some injuries in that Collingwood midfield and he gets a proper run, surely he's definitely very, very high on our radars. So I'll leave it there, guys. I don't know how rapid fire that was. I can't even tell how long I was recording for, but hopefully you enjoyed that. Remember, if you want some more detailed notes, be sure to get a copy of the preseason guide. And a big thank you to everyone that has already signed up for our $50 charity Headspace League. All the money from this goes to such a great cause, and there will be some massive prizes on offer for the winners. You can see all of the price structures there. So if you are interested, please email me at supercoachradia@outlook.com for more details. But I'll leave you there, guys. Thanks again. Much love, and we'll see you soon in the next one. Cheers. Bye.